Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel this week. This week's episode is something I've been thinking about for a little while now, but last week's video on the $300 lens versus the $3,000 lens made me think about something that had been bothering me for a while, and that was why I didn't buy these lenses sooner. And really, honestly, I thought they were really just kind of junky, maybe. I wasn't really sure. And I got to tell you, the first one that I bought was the 23 f2. And I got so excited about it because when I first started using it, it was pretty amazing to me. And I wanted to make sure that I got this little lens hood here, which looks a lot like my Leica's lens hood. And I used that 23 for a long time, and then I said, you know, I don't use my 50mm lens that much, and I really need to get used to that. So I then bought this 35 f2 right here, and I was really surprised. I started to like this lens a lot, and I also got the the Leica I like that the lens hood here for the 35. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over some images that I've taken over the past year or so, because that's when I picked up this 35 here. But I've had the 23 for a little while. But I'm also going to bring in the third lens here, which is the 50 f2. And this is a focal range that I don't really use a lot. It's basically a 75 f2 full frame equivalent. But darn, look how small this thing is. It's teeny. It's great. I really like this lens. I still don't use it a lot, but you know, these three lenses have been labeled the Fujicrons of the Fuji system, and I gotta say, they really are like that. Now you folks that really love that 16 f2.8, it's a beautiful little lens. There's nothing wrong with it. It's nice and sharp, and it's got great contrast. But to me, it's not a Fujicron, because that would be a Summicron in Leica terms, and that would be a Fuji Marit, I guess you'd call it, because El Marit is the name for Leica's 2.8 lenses. These three lenses, I really regret not buying them as a whole and just using them instead of relying on my zoom lenses like I do mostly. I mostly like to use my zoom lenses, but honestly, I'm starting to love this little 3 lens kit here. And I'll often use the 35 and the 23 on different cameras, and that works pretty well for me. You know, but you can always put this 35 in a pocket, and it's just kind of a pain to switch lenses. So I like to go out and shoot with just one lens because it makes a lot more sense. So let's get on to the images that I've pulled out from the past year or so. And some of them you've seen before because I've done specials on the 35 and the 50 and also the 23. But I'll talk about them a little bit because I found that they are really great for what they do. Now, this 50, you can get pretty close with this thing. 35, not as close. But that's it, and we'll go through some of the images that I've taken over the past year. So all these shots here were made with the 23 f2. It's the lens that I've owned the longest, and it's the one I love the most. And one of its great features is you can get in really close, and the bokeh is just wonderful at f2. It's one of those lenses that, it's a 35mm equivalent, and I really enjoy the way I'm able to use it in a journalistic style, and also, I can do portraits with it. I can do just about anything with a 35mm lens. As you can see here, I've gone everywhere from pretty close up to further away. Look at this door here, just 3-dimensional. So I really like to take this lens out for a walk, and I was pretty amazed. One of the cameras that I use this lens a lot with is the XT30, because it's so small and it makes the whole kit So small and easy to use. And I mean, look how close you can get with this lens here. This shot is, I mean, it's really, really tight, and it's shot at like f11. This next shot here, same thing, you know, down at the yacht club, showing the light coming through. I like to shoot against the light like this. And then, of course, the lobster boat's going out in the morning, especially when there's glass-like reflections on the water. Just absolutely amazing to me. Then, you know, shots like this, you know, you're able to show up at an event and make shots like this, just memorable moments. And then this next shot here has a Bresson look to it, like the picture of the people on the riverbank. Great stuff. So one lens that I've started to get used to more and more, and I shot with a 50mm lens a lot, and the 35 f2 from Fuji is basically a 52mm lens. And this shot here is wide open at f2, and I got to tell you, it is really sharp in the foreground, and the background is nicely out of focus in the fog. This shot here is at f8, I think it is, and it's great, sharp all the way through. I just love the way the light plays on this door. And these nets here, these bait nets, sharp as a tack. It's unbelievable how sharp they are. And, you know, it's one of those lenses that I didn't know if I was going to like it a lot, but I'm starting to love it a lot. And I just need to use it more and more. Now, this next shot to me is all about the geometry in it. The sticks coming out at you, the ends of the sticks are lit, and the rocks and the piece of rebar here. I just love that shot. Now this next lens is a lens that I don't use this focal length, the 75mm equivalent focal length, a lot. It's great for portraits. It's great for reportage. As you can see in the previous photo of the guy standing there with the book. Now this shot of my dog, great portrait coming out of the snow. And this next shot coming up is more of a reported shot. I did this with the story I did on the woman that works on small sewing machines. And believe it or not, this 50 f2 can get really close. I mean, this little sewing machine is really small, and this emblem on it is even smaller, so it's great. And you know, you're also able to compress things, like these buoys here that are painted up by an art class. Really, really great. Then this last shot here is, you know, you're just able to get in tight on things. And it's a wonderful lens for doing that. I really enjoy it. I just need to get used to shooting with it more. So thanks for watching this video this week. I had a great time talking about the Fujicrons, the 23, the 35, and the 50 f2 lenses. And if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe, and maybe even drop me a comment. That would be awesome. And I know a lot of you feel the same way about these little small prime lenses. They're wonderful. So that's it for this week. And remember, it's not what you photograph, it's how you photograph it. And we'll catch you next time.